jobs where I've had the time to still go out and do it. It took me, like, I have 5 children. I've never been married. It took me like 15 years. I have to get my associate degree to get my bachelor's, so I know I got to go to law school because, you know, I've already had to do the work.
Robert, bless your heart. I want to thank you for sharing that. I mean, I think you deserve a round of applause for your courage. I mean, it's folks like you and us that they're going to make a difference in this world. There's a saying that for evil to exist is the only thing is for good folks not doing it. So when you see some injustice like that, and obviously it's impacting your family, but it makes you realize that a lot of families don't even have the wherewithal that you have to learn and to start showing up at meetings and bringing your friends to those meetings and being heard. Some of the people, they don't know how to communicate as effectively as you do. And so our society and our civilization is going to be judged by how we treat the downtrodden. And this whole law of the jungle, survival of the fittest ethos on steroids that we're living in right now, that takes advantage of poor folks. Like, let me give you an example of that law of the jungle that's going on, and that it's justified. I went to Washington Mutual Bank the other day. I was shutting down one bank account of mine and opening up another bank account. And I had a cashier's check from Citibank for $25,000. And I gave the cashier's check to Washington Mutual, and I said, put this in the account. And they said, well, we're going to need to put a 9-day hold on it. You heard that before?
Yeah.
This was a cashier's check from another bank. And that money gets cleared in seconds electronically because it serves both institutions to clear that money instantaneously. And then I said, well, why would you put a 9-day hold on it? And then he goes, well, there's a law. There's a law that says that we can do that. Of course, that law was bought and paid for. Right? Now, my daddy, he deals with stocks and bonds and things like this, And I've grown up seeing him in banks, and he tells the officers of the bank, he defines the relationship as he sees fit, and I know this from my experience in the family I grew up in. So I tell him, take the hold off, or else, I'm leaving. You're a delight. Come on. And so they took the hold off. That's not the point. The point is, what if you're a poor Latina lady and you got $500 that you've saved up, and you go into that bank and you don't speak the language that well, and then they're able to put that hold on it, which is an unfair tax. And that tax is only applied to people that can't get it together, that can't communicate. Preying upon the weak. This is cannibalism. This is humans feeding on humans. When you're those products made in China, slaves, that's humans feeding on humans. We need to get rid of the law of the jungle and the survival of the fittest to own the day completely. And we need to arrive at the rule of heaven. We need to arrive at the goal to arrive at an empathic vision of our planet and have some balance. That's what it's about. It's about balance. I've been asked to conclude here, so you guys know what alliteration is? Alliteration is where you have the same letter at the beginning of each word. We got a little funny thing here. Porky politicians. Porky politicians pursuing prostituted policies, placating the purses of the plutocratic principal periods that make up the putative point men, paid for painfully in plain view by us. Period. Yesterday I was picked up from the George H.W. Bush Intercontinental Airport here in Houston, Texas, by one of the NJCDLP leaders and presenters here at this conference, and that's Dr. Leroy Gillum. Now, I spent nearly 3 hours with Dr. Gillum driving back to his home and convoying back and forth to the airport to pick up other conference attendees, eating a little breakfast, all fairly mundane. But in the span of those 3 hours, Dr. Gillum must have fielded 10 urgent phone calls concerning legal cases of folks Leroy was representing that are getting the short end of the stick of justice. These were people stuck in harrowing situations in prisons in Mississippi, Texas, and other states. These were people being targeted as adversaries to the prison industrial complex, and in some cases being framed from the top in an effort to take them down. This is not the America that the dreamers dreamed, is it? These were poor folks getting hammered by a system of legal justice and of social justice that all too often operates as an unyielding mercantile molasses that only runs freely when given sanction from above. These economically challenged American children have been left behind, and they turn to Dr. Gillum and folks like yourselves as their angels of equality. These people will turn to NJCDLP for help when they are in the most dire of circumstances. In this, you all have the highest responsibility to fulfill. In this, you are doing God's work. I'm reminded of a poem by Langston Hughes. Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great strong land of love, where never kings connive, nor tyrants scheme, or any man is pressed down from one above. Dr. Gillum and the NJCDLP is making that dream a reality. The reason I bring up my experience yesterday with Dr. Leroy and his industry of restorative justice, which is what the NJCDLP is all about, is to let you all know that you are to be congratulated for your patriotic and heroic efforts, and I'm greatly honored to be here in your presence and in your midst. So, with that, thank you very much.